Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Carnivorous Grandma Speaks. I'm so excited tonight to have with me the teacher, the carnivore teacher, John Laspina. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Hi, Robin. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you here with me tonight. I'm apologizing to John because we were scheduled to come on last Sunday, and I was on my way back from my vacation, so I had to reschedule. So thank you for being accommodating. I really
No
do
problem.
appreciate that.
Totally understand.
If you're new here, this is Carnivorous Grandma Speaks, and I am Robin Heron, your carnivorous grandma. And this is a place where we talk about all things carnivore, proper human diet, ketogenic diet, and I love to interview people who are on a proper human diet and see what's going on with them and with their lives and what they're doing. And so John is another content creator. We had an amazing opportunity to meet at Hack Your Health in Austin, which was really, really cool. John, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, folks. I'm John Laspina. I'm the Carnivore Teacher, 1965, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter X, on Instagram, and can't think of the other one. I can never remember Threads. That other
Oh,
new one,
yep.
Threads, and LinkedIn, actually. And yeah, we have been on mutual friends channels and spoke with one another, but we got to meet each other in person at in Austin, Texas, at KetoCon Hack Your Health, which was just I've been to many symposiums, learning opportunities like this, and there was nothing as exciting as this, as fun as this one was, with so many things to do. You couldn't do them all. You had to pick and choose. So anyway, I'm going to be turning 59 in a few months. No, a few days. It's in July. I don't know why I said months. And I'm just thinking a lot because it's going to be the last year of my 50s. Oh my gosh, it's so close to that other number, that other decade number. I don't want to go into that box
Yes.
yet, but I'm not fearful because I'm going to live to be 120.
Well, all right.
That's my mindset. And I feel like I'm 29 years old. I feel so physically healthy, emotionally healthy, mentally alert because I changed my diet 5 years ago.
Okay.
5.5 years ago, actually, I went keto. And then a year later, I tuned it up and went ketovore and took out all of the nuts and seeds and plants except for just a few and coffee. Did that for 3 years. And then about a year and a half ago, I just figured I'm so close to carnivore and I'm watching all these wonderful carnivore people on YouTube and learning so much. I'm starving for knowledge still today. I am. Then I'm like, oh, I'll just take out the coffee, take out the avocado, take out the broccoli. What else was left? I didn't take it. I took everything else out. And I observed this amazing bump in my physical, mental, and emotional health. So I'm staying carnivore for the health reasons. I just feel like I am running on high test fuel and it feels great. So that's where I am today. And I teach about it and talk to people about it on my channel because I can't keep my mouth shut because it's so wonderful and it's free. It's knowledge. Once you get it and you understand it, you apply it to your personal individual situation and life and tweak it for you. And you too can experience amazing health.
So that is awesome. I am 57. I'm turning 58 also in July. What's your birthday?
July 16th.
Okay, July 16th. Mine's the 22nd.
All right. I think you're on the cusp. What is that? The cusp
You
of
are right. I'm on the
Leo and
Cancer
Cancer.
and Leo.
Right?
Oh,
I'm a
yes.
Cancer. Well, I knew what the cusp was. So that's why we get along so well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you said you feel like 28,
I
which is
do.
absolutely
I really
incredible.
do.
Did you feel this good at 28? Or do you feel better than you did when
Who
you were 20?
remembers? Oh my God. In my 20s, I didn't have any problems. And I
Yeah.
was lean and I was like energetic. So that's why I
Mhm.
say I feel like I'm in my 20s. And then once I got into my 30s and 40s, the weight, the slowdown, the back pain, things started happening. So I feel I'm telling you how I remember feeling in my mid to late 20s. And it's,
Yeah.
jeez, fantastic.
So you mentioned something that's really intriguing to me, and I think I heard Dr. Georgia Ede, is she a doctor?
I think,
Yes, talking about the incredible difference between being ketovore and carnivore, and how for like mental health, it's a huge difference when you go from. So you're like an example of that. Can you just talk to us a little bit about like about that, a little bit more
I
about
think her
that?
book is called Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. And I have it.
Yes.
And I bought like 3 or 4 of them, these wonderful books. I haven't gotten to it yet. I can't wait to get to it. Everyone raves about this book, and she talks about emotional health. And when I was a sugar junkie, okay, just
Mhm.
like an alcoholic can't have just one drink, they can't get it out of their minds, and they have it all. I'm like that with sugar and sweet things. I always was. So I have to abstain 100% of the time. So this diet works perfectly for me. And I never think about it now because it's always no. It's no on my birthday. It's no on a holiday. It's just no. It's in the same category as heroin and illegal drugs to me. I don't touch it ever, and I
Okay.
never will. Um, and when I made that switch, my emotions, I used to have these deep valleys and then these high peaks. I was emotional roller coaster because
Yeah.
probably now that I know, it was the sugar and the insulin, back and forth. And it really hit me hard emotionally and brain fog wise too. Just couldn't get my words together and just in a fog. And when
Mhm.
that when I got the sugar out of my life, that all disappeared and I am level all the time or up. I don't have any downs. It's
That's
amazing. And
amazing.
then doing and eliminating the coffee also helped me get rid of that too, because there's adenosine and caffeine, and you're kind of going through a different kind of roller coaster with that if
Mhm.
you do coffee.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
that was the last thing I tried to take out, and I thought I'll go back to it if it doesn't do anything, but I'm not going back because
Yeah.
I feel even better. So it just eating the proper human diet, which for me is the carnivore way of eating with no sugar and carbs,
Mhm.
is life changing emotionally. You feel like I have like the person you met at KetoCon, Hack Your
Mhm.
Health, is not the person you would have met a few years earlier because this diet has changed my emotions in such a way that I have amazing self confidence that I should have had all my
Mhm.
life. And I just feel confident. I feel like I know what I'm talking about, and I believe in myself. And I feel good about myself. And I never had that. Never
Amazing.
had that before. I had a lot of doubts. Now, I don't know if some of this comes with wisdom as you get a little older. Maybe it's a little bit
Yeah.
of a mix, but
Mhm.
diet has it changed my mind, just like she says the title of her book. It really did.
Yeah. So I just wanna I was thinking about some things that have been going on with me. I went on vacation.
Mm.
I was in the Orlando area with my grandkids having a
Close to
great
me.
time. And, and when I came back, I was so depressed last week.
Mm.
I'm still trying to come out of it.
Mm.
Like, I don't think I felt that low since before. I can't even remember the last time before carnivore, way before carnivore. And I'm like, okay, so something that I was eating, and I did allow a couple of things, like we were talking about abstinence. I'm a person too that has this addictive type of a personality, or I get addicted to things easy, I guess.
I get it.
So yeah, so, I'm just wondering about that, those things and this mental state that I've been in to the point where I like had to go lay down in the middle of the day a couple times and just really, really emotionally not well for the
Wow.
last week. And I feel like, when I started carnivore, I've been on carnivore since so about almost a year and a half also. I started February 22nd,
Mhm.
2023. And so since then I haven't really felt this kind of down, just down, down. Oh, it was so bad. So now I'm trying to break myself out of that through diet. because of course diet is the problem that caused the problem. So, just you talking about um that little bit of sugar, that little bit of seed oils really causes a big, probably wreaks havoc on your mental state. I have some physical things like eczema and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so definitely, I'm a person too that really needs to abstain 100% from any of those kinds of things because it's not good for my mental state.
Do you think that you experienced this depression, this low, because your body was so clean and running it so pristinely, and
Mhm.
now we're so used to feeling well as a state of normal that just a little bit of seed oil and sugar, you're so sensitive to any
Mhm.
dip in, like, any inappropriate inflammation. That's
Yep.
what I've
Yep.
heard. So it's
Really feel that that's the
yeah.
case.
We
Like that.
almost like when an alcoholic, gets themselves used to alcohol, they develop a tolerance to the alcohol. They can drink more and more and not be as drunk.
Mhm.
When we ate the standard American diet, we were used to the seed oils, we were used to the
Yep.
sugars, and maybe we developed a tolerance, and now that tolerance is gone. You
Yep.
eat a little bit and you're, ugh, yeah,
Yes, I really do feel like
probably
that
it.
is the case, and I noticed that while I was gone, I ate 2 bites of guacamole.
Mm,
2 bites. That's the first vegetable I've had since last summer. I tried a couple of things last summer, like cabbage and onions and stuff. I didn't have a problem with those, but I just decided I didn't wanna incorporate that stuff yet.
mhm.
But I ate 2 bites of guacamole, and my tongue started itching. Now, I used to eat
Wow. You
avocados
you ate
all the
avocados? Oh,
time.
wow.
I
Mm.
used to eat them all the time. I ate a lot of guacamole when I was on keto, because like you,
Yeah, I
I
did too.
went from, keto
Uh-huh.
to carnivore, and avocados were like my jam.
Staple, yeah.
But no, I can't immediately my mouth started itching.
Wow.
So it's that sensitivity that where when you're eating everything, you just can't tell what you're sensitive to.
Yeah.
Um, and so definitely, I know I had some things that I probably shouldn't have had, definitely shouldn't have had. And emotionally, it's taking time for that stuff to process out and me to actually come back to what I know now think of as my normal state of, the carnivore zen, so to speak.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. If you were to take the trip again now that you went through this and the same foods were presented to you, would you make different decisions knowing
Good.
that you would have these consequences?
I would. There are certain things that are worth it. You know what I mean? Certain things are worth it. Okay, so I had this and it was worth it. This stuff is not worth it to me. It's not worth it. It's not worth going back to where I was before
Right.
carnivore. Like, I had literally forgotten how bad I felt before carnivore. Of course, when you're not on carnivore or not on a
You
ketogenic
don't
diet,
know.
you
Yeah.
don't even know. But
Right.
then once you see the light, you get into the light and it's like, "Oh my god, this is how good I can
Yeah.
feel." Going back to that is a nightmare. I've
It
been
is.
just totally beside myself this entire week.
You don't wanna go back to the way
I
you
don't wanna
felt
go back to
before.
that.
Exactly. Wow.
And,
I think of it
so
like this. It's, 6 or 7 seconds of pleasure. That's basically all you're getting with the sweet or whatever you're loving, and then the swallow, and that's it, you're done.
that's
That's it,
it.
and then we've got a week,
A week
potentially
of
a week of
suffering. Like,
consequences, so I use that. Anybody
yeah.
listening, I think of it, is this piece of cake that I was a major sugar junkie, fudge, baklava, I mean, I was
Wow.
sugar, right? Is this 6 or 7 seconds of a drug pleasure?
Mhm.
Dopamine hits like crazy to the brain. 6 or
Yeah,
7 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Is it really worth it?
it's not. It's not
So,
worth it.
I always that helps me if I ever get a crazy urge. Like when I'm at a party and they put this giant plate in front of me, I go
Mhm.
sit somewhere else because that
Yes.
plate will call to me.
Yes.
You have that memory built in from all the
Mhm.
years that you lived. So
Like, I thought that guacamole was gonna be so good. It's
Well,
like,
was it
oh,
good when you tasted it? Did
it
it
was all right. I mean,
creamy?
it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. And then I
Yeah.
have this hand eczema, like my
Wow.
hand eczema is flaring up. I'm like, it's definitely not worth going back to blistering and peeling hands and, you know, not being able to use your hands very well because it's
Yeah.
just not worth it.
Did you have eczema before you went on Carnivore? There
I
you go.
did, yeah, so
Now
that's one
mine
of the things that really was alleviated,
is
and I'm
that
gonna
I've
do a
heard that
video
from
about
others.
it because I have some pictures of myself, before and some pictures of how my hands were and how they, like, blistered o and peeled off. It was so bad.
Wow.
So I'm gonna do a
My
video about
I
that
have a,
'cause
a nephew. He's in his mid-20s, and he has his ears, his face
oh, poor
suffering,
baby.
suffering. It's so bad. And they pinned it down after they thought it was, they gave him ointments and creams and medicines. They thought it was some little virus. Nobody knew what it was. And they finally, this is months later, they're realizing it's diet. And
Yep.
they pinned it down to avocado oil and avocado.
What? Oh my
After
god.
you said that, I thought, "Oh my gosh, what is with avocado and eczema?" It's like the second or third time I've heard this, and my
Wow.
nephew too,
Okay.
so I don't have an issue with it, but
Yeah.
everybody's different. Everybody's body chemistry.
Everybody's body is different, and
Yeah.
I thought, I'll just try it, taste it. I only took 2 bites, but it's immediately my body was like, "You
Hmm.
can't have this."
Yeah.
Same thing with heavy cream, like, you cannot
Oh.
first of all, I don't have sober behavior around heavy cream.
You're like me with oh, I love dairy. I love cheese. I love ice
Yes, I love
cream. I
cheese.
love sour
Yep,
cream.
yep.
So
So,
heavy
John, I'm
cream.
doing a challenge for the month of July. I
Okay.
just put it out yesterday that I'm gonna do a July challenge where I'm doing, like, a bunch of things, but a couple of them are, like, eliminating cheese,
Okay.
eliminating eggs, going more back to, like, a beef and lamb, more
Like
like
a
a
lion
lion
diet.
diet, sea
Yeah.
lion,
Yeah.
more
Sea
so,
lion.
with bacon.
You could do some
Sea
fish with
lion with
sea
bacon.
lion pork. All right. We'll make up a name.
Sea lion plus B. Yeah,
So what does
so
the dairy do to you? I know you love it because probably the quesomorphins, like
oh, yeah.
when I could take heavy whipping cream and just sip it, slurp it out of the
So
little
good.
container. It's so good.
It's so good.
Doesn't have to be sweet, that's so
Oh,
do you get skin problems or weight gain or what? Yeah, I get
yep, I gained
constipation.
weight. My hands so after 1 year on the carnivore diet, this dyshydrotic eczema, which is this
Mm.
blistering, it, like, blisters and it dries and it all this crazy stuff, flakes your hands off, and people get it on their hands, their feet, like, smooth skin like this,
Oh, wow.
and so I drank heavy cream, a tablespoon of heavy cream in my coffee 4 days this week. 1
Mhm.
tablespoon and 1 cup of coffee, and my hands started blistering.
Wow, there you go. I mean, that's like pinpoint.
Yep,
Right, like an elimination diet, you know exactly what it
yep.
wow. A lot of people have skin related, whether it's acne or eczema, or a lot of people get weight gain. I get constipation if I have just too much there's a
Mm,
line, if I eat too much
yep,
dairy, I
mhm.
can't go to the bathroom very easily.
Oh, man, I
So,
don't I don't have that
I
problem.
stay away from I can have some dairy, so I will have a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese in
Mhm.
my ground beef, which I love.
Oh, that
Or
sounds
in
amazing.
my omelet, right? But
Yeah.
just a little, because if I eat a little too much and there's another interesting thing, Parmesan is aged, right?
Yes.
It has histamines. I get a
Yes.
runny nose
Oh,
when I
man.
eat aged cheese. It's really it doesn't bother me. It's just
Yeah.
stuffy, runny nose. I'm like, "That is so weird. That's the histamines." So,
There's so many factors. It's
isn't
like
it? It's fascinating.
it's fascinating and it's crazy, and, I've been talking a lot lately about the fact that for one person, high fat works great. You can eat 4,000 calories of fat a day and lose weight.
Uh-huh.
For another person, you have to eat more high protein and lower fat. It's just
It has to
so
be tailored to your
mind-boggling.
own body chemistry. What one size does not fit all.
Right.
So, when I make
Mhm.
my videos on YouTube, I almost always state that to people that everybody has to find what
Everybody
works
has to
for
find.
them.
That's
There's some
right.
generalities that
Mhm.
are true. The macronutrients, what's healthy, what's bad for us, seed oils, starch and
Yes.
sugar. But within that bracket of carnivore and ketovore and keto, you find like some carbs work with people better than zero carbs. They just
Mhm.
function better. So you have to find what works for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation with my husband, I think this morning, and we were talking about like food addiction and how hard it can be because of the fact that you got to eat. You're going to eat food, right? So, certain things, let's say you go to your favorite fast food joint where you always get a shake, let's say. And then, you order your bunless burger with nothing on it, and then they say, "Anything else?" And you say, "Ooh, dang. Maybe I'll take a shake."
Ah, it's easy to do. Suggestive selling always there. They do that. Yeah, for sure. I was at a
Right.
restaurant with a friend and I said, I just want this, what was it? Was it, oh, it was in an Italian restaurant. I met a friend and that's the restaurant he chose. They had nothing for me to eat, but they had a
Mm,
sub. So I said, "Can I have the lunch meat? All the lunch meat on this Italian sub, just put it on a plate and that's it." And she looked at me like I was a Martian. Like,
yes. Yep.
right?
What?
But I got what I wanted, and they came up with a price, and that's what I ate in
Mhm.
front of the other person who ate the calzone. And, I got out of the restaurant without falling prey to all the crap. So, yeah, you have to stand
Yeah,
up for yourself when you're out because it's everywhere.
it's everywhere.
Bad
Yeah.
stuff is everywhere. Yeah.
And it's so hard. It's very hard. I'm thinking about my July challenge that I'm getting ready to start tomorrow and how hard it will be because, I've been having some like salty, the sweetened ones. I've been having some element electrolytes. They've been sweetened.
Oh,
Um,
stevia.
and
Yeah.
stevia sweetened, yeah, and I'm cutting all that stuff out, and I know that it's gonna be hard,
Mhm.
because my mouth wants sweet.
I get it. I get it. And that's why I don't do stevia, monk fruit, or allulose or
Mhm.
erythritol because it still turns on that sweet switch in my brain, even though it's not sugar. Probably doesn't
Yep.
stimulate an insulin response, but
Mhm.
dang it, if I have it, I want more.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yep,
so
I
I
was telling the folks that last night that I started putting 1 drop of liquid sucralose in my coffee,
mm,
decaf coffee,
mhm,
and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna try 1 drop because I had been drinking those salties, and then all of a sudden I started putting a drop of sucralose in my coffee,
mhm.
where I had been drinking it black, and then the next thing you know,
2
it's
drops.
not
Yeah,
sweet enough.
right. Yeah.
I did not go up to 2 drops,
Oh, you
but I
didn't. You did.
recognize the fact that my mouth is saying, "That ain't sweet enough, girlfriend. You're
No.
gonna have to add some more sweet to this
Right.
in order for it to taste sweet." And, liquid sucralose is extremely sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I first started putting it in there, it was, like, really, really sweet by
Isn't
this
that
recipe.
interesting? You're it's that's the probably the little addiction element. It's like
It
more,
is.
more.
Yep. More,
Now, if
more.
that was me, I would have put like, let's say I used to do monk fruit because stevia always gave me a headache. I would do a drop of monk fruit, and then it was 2 when I was doing
Yep.
coffee, then it became 3. I
Yeah.
knew it was going up,
Yes.
and it's like, why is it going why do I want more?
Mhm.
That's me. May not
Doesn't taste sweet anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, man,
yeah.
this coffee almost tastes black." Now
And when
that's
yeah,
crazy.
when I went back to black, before I quit drinking coffee, I went back to black and I got used to it and I started tasting the flavor of the coffee bean and I was grinding my own and doing I
Mhm.
was my own barista and I learned to make it the way I wanted it. I never did the Keurig because what a difference in taste. And
Yes.
I learned to love it black. I really did. I got
Mhm.
used to it. And I did a French press because you taste more of the oils that come
Mm.
out. It's not filtered. Um, but I feel so much better with it. I don't miss it now. I
Yeah.
still miss the action of enjoying the motions,
Yes,
right? I
yes.
I could still miss that, but I'm
Mhm.
not gonna go back. I'm glad I
So
yeah.
let me ask, when you gave up coffee, did you see any benefit to it?
Oh my lord, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Um, Well, I have a video on my YouTube channel that kind of explains all the details, but I won't go into all those details here. But if anybody wants to watch it, I totally explain how coffee works in the brain, your
Mm.
blood vessels, the addiction part, everything.
Okay.
But basically, when I slowly took myself off of coffee over 30 days, I gradually mixed decaf and caffeinated beans until I was down to decaf, and then
Mhm.
slowly had hot water with butter. I mean, I totally, just very gradually,
Yeah,
slowly
that's
did that
smart.
to avoid the vasodilation headache, which I
Oh my god, it's so
really
bad.
got.
The
And
worst.
then once I was finally off of it, I noticed I sleep more soundly at night,
Mhm,
big
mhm.
time. I don't get up. I sleep through the night. It's
Okay.
amazing difference. And throughout the day, I had to have 2 cups in the morning, and then I had to have 1 in the mid-afternoon, like 1 o'clock. Otherwise, I would feel like I was dragging again.
Yep.
So that's gone. That disappeared. I pop out of bed, and I have energy all day.
Nice.
All right. So those are benefits, no headache. And then I noticed another benefit when we went on a trip. And normally when I go on a trip, I stake out the coffee. Where's the coffee for tomorrow morning?
Yep.
We're got to make sure I know where it is. Is it in the room? Oh my God, it's not in the room. Do they have a buffet? Oh, they have a buffet. Oh, it's down there.
Okay.
When are they setting it up? It's not ready yet.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, man.
that that freedom, breaking the bonds of not having to worry about any of that, is
Right.
kind of cool. And then shopping and the counter space is a little clearer, and there's a lot of benefits to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. We got a couple of comments I'm gonna pop up here
Okay.
before I get to my next question. So, Miss Jackson, hi, Miss Jackson. Welcome. So glad that you're here. She says, I cut out the heavy cream about 2 weeks ago. It was causing me weight gain too. Yeah.
There
So
you
that's
go.
another thing is that I gained like, I don't know, 3, 4 pounds in just like a week. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. No more heavy cream. I can't tolerate it anyway. It made my armpits itch and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
really? Oh boy.
Terrible. Yeah.
You have many reasons not to drink. See, me, it's just the one constipation. It's like, "Ugh," it calls, but I just don't buy it. It's not in the house, so I can't get at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simpson wants to know, are you going to sing for us today?
I
And
saw
now
that
that
coming.
Simpson said that, I'm like, okay, John, are you going to sing for us today?
My next song is coming on Wednesday. I do them every Wednesdays, and
Okay.
sometimes I do them with Christy. Okay, so this
Nice.
Wednesday's just me, and next Wednesday, Christy and I are actually working on one. And the one for this Wednesday is a Patsy Cline old country song that I
Nice.
changed the lyrics to. And so you'll have to stay tuned and
All
check that
right.
one out. I think it turned out kind of nice, but no, I'm not going to sing on here live. I don't have my music.
Oh, man.
I guess I
We got
could,
juked, you guys.
but
Yeah.
um,
So,
if everybody really wants it, I'll go find. I have the lyrics in a folder. I'll pull it up.
yeah.
I'll do a
Okay, you
bar.
guys, let's vote. Do you guys want to hear John sing? I vote yes.
All right. You keep
All right.
talking. I'll go find. I'm not gonna do the whole song. I got to find the lyrics
Okay,
because
no
I
worries.
change the lyrics to songs. I don't have them memorized. Let's
So
see.
this is Charlie, and Charlie's saying that Italian restaurants are tough to stay carnivore if
Yes,
you
they
go
are.
in hungry. So what I always do, and we eat out a lot because it's just my husband and I. And usually on a Sunday afternoon after church, we will go out to eat with his parents or with some other folks from the church. And then when we go to Olive Garden, I order like a la carte, and I ordered like sausages, and I order a piece of salmon, I order a piece of steak, I'll order a chicken, whatever. I just ordered only meat. I don't order any pasta or anything like that. When I was keto, I used to order like Alfredo.
I lost the sound. Darn it.
Oh, okay. Or
I don't know where the
carbonara
sound went because I
over
pulled up a Word
broccoli.
document and now your sound is gone.
Uh-oh.
I'm so
I can
sorry.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Let me quit that.
Uh-oh, he can't hear me. Let me tell him I can hear him. Okay.
All right, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Let me go into
No.
check my audio here.
All right. So while he's fixing that, I'm gonna
Let's
go
switch it
ahead
back.
and
I still
go to
don't
the
hear you.
next one.
Oh crap.
Um, Bobby. Hi, Bobby. I figure a lot of people order without bread because of diabetes. I think so too.
Can you hear
And
me?
John might need to go back. Yeah, I can hear you good.
Can you
Might need
hear
to
me?
exit back
All right,
in.
I'm going to go out and come back in because I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Let me leave. I'm
That's
going to
okay.
come back in.
No worries. So, Bobby, I do use some flavored coffees, and I do have some concerns about what is on those flavored coffees when they, how they infuse that flavor into them. So, and I'm drinking decaf right now. I'm not drinking regular coffee, but I do drink decaf, and I do have some concerns about what they're spraying onto those. Hey,
I'm back.
what they're spraying onto those. We can hear you just fine. I don't know what happened.
That was embarrassing. I pulled up the Word document that has the lyrics and it cut out
Um,
everything. So, guys,
oh
I don't want to
wow.
try it again. So,
Okay.
just wait till
Okay.
Susan.
I guess you guys were not going to get singing.
I
So
was trying.
Look for John's video on
I don't know
Wednesday.
why it does that. It's just
Mark
a
your
Word
calendars.
document.
I know, that's so weird.
Uh,
That's so
anyway,
weird. So, I was just answering Bobby's question about flavored coffee.
okay.
And, Bobby is it Booby? Okay, not Bobby, but Booby Goats.
Booby
That's
goats.
cute. Um, what he or she, I'm not sure, wonders what ingredients are used on the coffee. And I was just saying that I do use some flavored coffees sometimes, decafs, and I do have some concerns about how are they infusing, like what is it that they're infusing it with? I don't know.
Yeah, you never
Probably
know
not
if
good.
it's
It's probably not good.
yeah, yeah,
It's
especially if
probably not
they
good.
don't tell you or you can't find out.
Yep. And then Charlie's saying you have to extract your own sweet tooth. Your dentist can't find it for you.
Yeah,
True. Absolutely true.
very true.
So, and then, oh man, oh my gosh, everybody's saying sing, sing, sing. So Susan says, that's how I weaned off coffee in December with decaf and regular instant coffee, gradually replacing decaf for the regular, also less and less sweetener, then just stopped it altogether. Yeah. I just recently brought back in decaf coffee, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to just eliminate it again because it's neither here nor there. Like I'm not really I don't enjoy it unless it's sweet and delicious.
Oh,
And I can't have the sweet, so what's the point of drinking it? It's not really giving me anything. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and eliminate that. Okay. So Susan says, I'm a singer, I love to hear John sing. Yes, yes, yes. But
it's
Susan has not sang in years and is out of
uh,
practice.
start
Oh my
again.
gosh, I did not realize that you were singing over
Yeah,
there.
really. Oh,
Man,
wow. Now, maybe Susan, maybe I can encourage you to start practicing again because Christy, California, she's meeting
being
what is
wellness.
meeting wellness. She and I sing, so we do duets together, and
Oh,
we
that's
could do
fun.
it from distance. You send me the song, I blend it together with my green screen back here, and think about it. Let me
I
know.
wanna sing a song.
Yeah.
I'm not a singer per se. I do sing on my church praise team.
Oh, then
I
you're
call
probably good.
myself like a background singer, but I do have to lead every so often. I can hold a tune.
That's good. That's good. It's fun.
Okay, so but Booby Goat says natural ingredients, and we all know that that's trash. We
Natural
all know.
flavors. What the heck is natural flavors? Now, here's a tip I learned that seems to sound logical. You decide if you believe it or not. If you read a list of maybe 5 or 6 ingredients and they're all clean, and one of them says natural flavors, it's probably a clean ingredient. But if you've got a
Hmm.
list of a couple of dirty items and then it says natural flavors, it's probably a dirty item. It's MSG, it's more
Wow.
sugar. And I mean, to me, that kind of sounds logical. So it's
Okay.
something to think about.
I've never heard that before, so that is very interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind as I'm looking. And on the coffee, it doesn't the ones that I get don't tell you what's in them. So it's just
Yeah,
supposed to be coffee.
yeah.
All right. So let's talk about like what health benefits that you saw when you went on from 5.5 years keto. 5.5 years ago, you were on keto, right?
Mhm.
And then 4.5 years ago, ketovore, and now 1.5 carnivore. So what
Right.
kind of health benefits have you seen? Did you experience anything health related while you were on keto? And then
From the standard American diet, I have a list of 30 things that happened to me.
Mm,
I won't go through them all, but I lost my intermittent, but when it was there, it was persistent lower back pain, which I found out was inflammation caused by seed oils and lots of sugar. I didn't know that. I lost about 40 pounds, 35, 40 pounds. I lost a lot of the symptoms to my atrial fibrillation. I still
mm,
technically have atrial fibrillation, but it pops in maybe once or twice a year for a few minutes and it's done. I'm on no medicine.
wow.
And I took myself off the medicine when I went keto, and what a difference. And my skin cleared up, my emotions got better. I stopped biting my nails. I had a little OCD thing going on. A whole bunch of things happened from the standard American diet to keto.
Mhm.
Then when I went ketovore, um, I took out a lot of the nuts, all the nuts and seeds, which had all the lectins and phytates and a lot of the oxalates. And I went from keto to ketovore because I got a kidney stone. I
Oh.
was eating a lot of turmeric and cinnamon and nuts and seeds and chocolate that I made with monk fruit, lots of dark chocolate. And I made a lot of keto treats with
Yep.
almond flour, all the high oxalate
Mhm.
foods. So I was eating more oxalates than I ever did on the standard American
Right.
diet, all because it was low in carb, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I lost the weight and all that, but I ended up in the hospital. So then learning curve, I learned what oxalates were, and I had a calcium oxalate stone that I passed, and so that's why I went ketovore and took out
Mhm.
all the high oxalate foods, and I did that for 3 years and felt amazing, and then decided to up it just as a mental decision after learning and realized all the amazing benefits of better sleep, more energy.
Yep,
Just
yep.
everything was amped up when I went from ketovore to carnivore. So those are some of my changes at the different
It's
stages.
So there's a couple of things that are still in my diet that I'm like, "Okay, so maybe I need to eliminate this." The one of the top reasons that I wanna be on carnivore, well, the skin issue is like, that's a given.
Yeah.
There's this anxiety.
Mhm.
Like, I had such bad anxiety that I stopped driving on the highway.
Oh,
I used to drive, like, 60 miles to work every day. And then after COVID happened, I worked from home. I stayed in my house for 2 years, and after that, I found that I had this extreme anxiety for driving at high speeds though, really.
yeah.
Like, I can drive through town, no problem, but I don't get on the highway very often because I get this I mean, I have had anxiety. I'm not even sure
Wow.
because I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it, you know? So I'm wondering about I use this, Redmond's real salt,
Mhm.
which is amazing, but I use the seasoned salt, which has some plants in it still. It's got,
What's
garlic
in it?
powder,
Oh.
it's got onion powder, it's got some plants still in it. So I wonder if that could still be contributing to me still having anxiety. I
Could
had
be.
severe anxiety, like, going over bridges.
Mm.
Um, when I start coming up on a bridge, it was so bad that I would, like, pull over before getting on the bridge because I would be like, I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm gonna run off the road. I don't know, just craziness. So that's kind of better, but I still am not highway driving,
Hmm.
because I'm nervous about that anxiety because I had a full-blown panic attack on the highway. And I'm thankful that my mom was with me. I had to pull over on the highway and let my mom
Wow.
drive. It was
Wow.
really, really
That's
bad.
scary.
So serious, serious anxiety.
I think it could be
Mhm.
those, spices in the salt. I mean, look at what that little bit of avocado does to your skin. So
Right.
you'll never know unless you try it. If you take it out, then go up to a bridge, take it out for a while, and see if some of the situations that would have caused the same anxieties that always did don't. And
Yep.
it's because you know what spices are. Spices are, concentrated versions
Concentrated.
of the plants. So we're
Yes.
getting even more.
Yes.
So I just have
Absolutely.
Redmond real salt and that's it. I don't do the
Yeah.
spice.
And I love red mineral salt, but that spice blend tastes like gold to
I
me.
know. Yeah,
It tastes so good.
it does.
It's so, so good. And it doesn't have any sugar in it, which is really, really nice because came from Lowry's
Mhm.
seasoning salt to this, and it's really delicious, but I'm out of it almost. And I'm like, okay, so I think I'm just gonna cut it out and see. So this whole thing of, that little incremental change that Dr. Georgia Ede talks about, and how huge of a difference it can make with your mental health state is like, that's what I'm looking to try to see is how real is that? Like you said, it was a big difference. And so if I cut out everything that is plant based, including my seasoning salt, if y'all see me do that, oh my God, it's a big deal. I like my food to taste good. So, but yeah, so I'm just thinking about it. I'm considering it
Good.
and whether or
You're
not
you're
that
open to have a growth, learning mindset and trying stuff, and always say to yourself, "I can always put it back in later if there's no effect." That's what I
right.
said when I stopped coffee. I love coffee so much. I'm like,
Hmm.
if there's no change. Dr. Berry did this. Dr. Berry went off of coffee, Ken
Yep.
Berry,
Hmm.
and completely, and then he's like, "I don't notice much of a difference," so he went
Right.
back on. He's like, "I
Yeah.
went back on." So his particular body chemistry he would it's like he can enjoy it. But I saw all these changes and benefits. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'll be giving up these benefits, but I can enjoy coffee again, but I'm giving up these benefits. So
Right.
N equals one. You make the decision. You have the power.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
what I felt when I gave up coffee in October,
Mhm.
and on the advice of Dr. Chafee, who
Mhm.
was in my ear one night as I was falling asleep, saying, "If you're drinking coffee and using sweeteners, you need to quit that immediately." And I'm like, "Stop talking to me, Dr. Chafee."
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so I gave it up and I did not see any extreme benefit from doing that. Like I
Okay.
didn't see the amazing, so some people say I gave up coffee and I had these amazing benefits.
Yeah, it's
I
different.
didn't see that,
Each person.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so I brought back in decaf. And so, but now I'm like, okay, I'm not really enjoying it like I loved my coffee before October. I'm
Mhm.
not loving it like that.
Okay.
So, it's meh, I could
Mhm.
take it or leave it. All right. So, you said you lost about 40 pounds. That's amazing. Man, you have a lot. You said, a list of 30
Oh,
things.
I
Okay.
can pull it up. Well, I'm afraid to open the Word document. I don't
Yeah,
know
I didn't
why
know
the
how.
sound cuts out when I do that. So I'm afraid to do that. But I have something prepared for like when I have other interviews and I tell my story. So it's in front of me. I opened the
Mhm.
document before I opened
Yeah.
this program. And
Yes.
yeah, it's just amazing when you eat right, when you fuel your body the way we're supposed to, you know, everything clicks
Yeah.
and the light turns on. And you can't
So
it's like a bell. Once you ring that bell, you can't unring it. I can't go back. I
I
can't go back.
know. I know. I said that after 30 days on carnivore last year, I thought I'm never going to be able to go back.
Right.
And I'm finding that to be true. Like when I try this or try that, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
The way my body is reacting. I even tried early on, I tried some broccoli and some cauliflower and I
Mhm.
had reactions to
Oh,
those.
wow. You're really sensitive. Your body's really sensitive.
It really, really is.
You're a barometer. You're a human barometer.
I am.
Yeah.
I cannot, and I'm allergic, literally allergic to sugar. So if I eat regular
Are you?
table
Really?
sugar, my hands
Oh
will
my
go
gosh.
on blast. Yeah,
Wow. You have reasons then. Really
I
good
do.
reasons to eat right.
Mhm. I don't know why I keep trying stuff, you know?
Hmm.
It's that addictive personality that I have.
Yeah, we do that. Mine is the mental. If I know what is this in this food, and so I can't. I look at it as tempting as it is to have it. I just can't
Mhm.
put it. I can't get it past my mind. Like I'm eating poison. Like I'm purposefully going to eat that. I can't. I can't turn back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a couple of these up
Okay.
really quick. Dr. Nelson's here. Hey, Dr.
Doc.
Nelson. We got to meet him in Austin, which was absolutely awesome. He says he's a little late. I love listening to John because his delivery of information is like he was a teacher. Oh, wait, he is.
I was. I am on YouTube, and I was for in middle school for 34 years. So yeah.
Okay, so 34 years as a middle school teacher. Did you
Mhm.
teach a specific subject?
I taught in Maryland for 13 years, language arts and social studies to
Nice.
6th and 7th graders. Then I moved to Florida in 2001 and taught for 21 years. I taught language arts, social studies. I taught video production the last 17
Nice.
years, which is fun. And I taught civics and, a few other things along the way, speech.
Nice. No wonder your videos are so good.
Uh, I
You
have
you got a leg up on the
I have a
rest
I
of
have a
us.
little green screen here and a
I
mic.
see it.
I have all the gadgets and the fun
Yeah, that's
toys. The
awesome.
screen is
Yeah,
making me look like I'm missing teeth, though. I don't know. I'm
he
s
has all his teeth, folks. I can
I
I can
do.
vouch for
I
him.
do. I
I
have all my
saw him in Texas. That's awesome. So glad you're here, Dr. Nelson. And Jay is here. Hey, Jay. Appreciate you being here. So there's this arm workout that we're doing there's a Meat Sisters group with like Limitless Lindy and Linda Volke. Some of the folks there's a bunch of ladies in there. We're doing this 15-minute arm flab workout.
Mhm.
It's a killer.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It is so hard. Oh my gosh,
Has to
it
be
is
hard.
so
Has to be
hard.
hard to work, right?
It's
Yeah.
very hard. So yeah, Simpson, I'm gonna take a rest day today. I'll be back at it tomorrow.
Good. You have to rest. You do.
Yes.
That's when the growth and the change happens, not during the lifting times, during the rest
Yep.
times. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So Simpson says, I don't feel any different with or without coffee, but after a dry fast last week, I just don't want it. So I don't. Ooh, Simpson, how long did you dry fast for?
Interesting. Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Did
I
you did
don't,
you see Dr. Eric Berg's talk on dry fasting at
I
Keto
missed
Time?
it.
It was so good. At the tip, that was
I've
half
heard it was
about
so
dry
good.
fasting. The second half was about his pamphlet, Starch, Sugar, and Seed Oil. And I never knew that information about dry fasting. Very interesting. I
Mm.
had never dry fasted before, and I'm tempted to
I
try it now.
have. I
Yeah,
have done dry fasting before. I mean, I do a spiritual fast at the beginning of the year,
good.
every year. And back in the day, we used to do a dry fast.
Hmm.
But
How,
now we don't
how
really
long?
dry fast. So it could be so daily. It's a daily fast. So they fast for a portion of the day, like an intermittent type fast.
Uh-huh.
But maybe up to a couple of days, 2 or 3 days of dry
Oh,
fasting.
okay.
But most people don't do that. Most people just do like an intermittent type fast. They'll start fasting at
After
midnight,
dinner. Yeah.
fast till noon, 3, 6 p.m., something like that, without water or anything.
Hmm.
But now we no longer do the dry fasting. Everybody is encouraged to drink water during the fast. So
Okay.
so I'll be interested to hear about what the benefits of the dry fasting and
Yeah, it
see.
was an interesting talk about I won't go into it, but he talked about
Yeah.
how the body has a lot of moisture and it pulls that moisture in when you need it. Everything moves itself around and stabilizes itself. And um, I love learning new information, so it was all
Yeah.
new to listen. And so I might try that next time carefully. He
Yeah.
did say if you're going to try dry fast, don't do a dry fast first. Do a regular fast, drink a lot
Yeah.
of water, and then ease into a dry fast. Don't just go
Yeah.
right into it. Yeah,
I agree with that because fasting is like a muscle and you have to build that muscle up.
you do.
Because it can be. And then another thing, of course, the Steak and Butter Gang talks all about fasting and stuff, and they talk about white knuckling your fast. and that you shouldn't be white knuckling a fast. So,
No, there's a mental aspect to it, but and then if you don't feel well, if you're feeling if you just don't feel right, you shouldn't be doing
mhm,
it. You do it
mhm.
when your body feels right.
Yes.
I've done 3-day fasts, and I
Mhm.
do intermittent fasting every day, but I've done a 3-day fast like every 5 or 6 months,
Yeah.
and, it's fascinating what your brain goes through, what your mind thinks about. It is very cleansing. You think about food very differently when you don't eat after 2 days and going into the 3rd
Yes.
day, right? And you're not really hungry at that point either,
Mhm, mhm. But you'll think your body will try to tell you that it's hungry.
right? That's the cortisol's starting to go up, and
Mhm.
you feel a little
It's really interesting
energized, yeah.
fasting, and, there was a guy that I used to listen to, that was a pastor, and he did a series on fasting for his church, and it wasn't really medically technically correct,
Hmm.
but he talked about, the spiritual aspect of it, kinda how the days go by when you're doing a long 40-day fast
Wow.
and how you will feel during different phases of that fast. And it was so powerful in helping me do those longer fasts. I've never done 40 days. I think the most I've ever done was 10 days
Wow.
of fasting. But I usually do 5 or 7 days at the beginning of every year. And but yeah, it's just, I love that because he was teaching them that yes, you can fast. You're gonna feel like you're gonna die, but you're not gonna die. You'll live and you'll be fine, After so many days, after like 5 or 6 days, you're not gonna even probably feel hungry very much anymore. And so it's really, really interesting what the body can do. And I think back in the day, you know, we used to have to fast. They didn't have food. They had to go out and hunt and find and kill something and in order to be able to eat. So they had to be able, you know, people have to be able to fast.
Yeah.
So Simpson wants to know, oh no, she's talking to Jay. How's Jay's wife doing? Um Susan wants to know if you retired.
I just responded to her in the chat. I retired 2
Okay.
years ago. Mhm.
Oh, congratulations.
A little earlier than I was supposed to, about 5 years earlier than I was supposed to,
Oh,
but
okay.
I took an earlier retirement. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. I got about 9 years left to go before I can retire. I see no way I'm retiring early. It's not gonna happen. My dad retired at 55. I'm like,
I did it at 57, so it's you have to do
"Oh,
all your
really?"
finances and really figure out if you can handle it financially and if it's worth it
Mhm.
financially in the long term.
That's
And so,
awesome.
yeah, you have to work on that and see
Now
if
you're able to spend time doing the things that you love,
and I
working on
do,
your passion
yeah,
project.
I
It's
do.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's really, really
I'm
awesome.
having fun. I love it. I exercise, I run, I bicycle ride, I make videos, I sing. I play musical instruments too. So I have a music room in my house. I play with my
Oh,
cello, I
nice.
play with my guitar, my piano.
Okay.
I'm busy. Believe me, I love retirement and
Yeah.
the stress is gone.
That is amazing. I love that. Like, I cannot wait to retire. I cannot wait to retire. It's gonna be a great day, glorious day.
It will
So
be.
Jay's saying I gave up coffee for Lent. After 2 years on carnivore, I finally managed to give it up. I have to say I don't notice a difference in how I feel, but I'm glad not to have coffee to get through. Yeah.
It's a nice you feel unshackled that you
Yeah, that freedom is
yeah,
like food freedom is amazing.
it is.
It's just really, really amazing. All right, let me see if I got another
Great
question.
questions and comment. You have a great audience here.
Yeah, they
Great
really
stuff.
are asking some really awesome questions here. So Simpson said she's doing a 24-hour dry fast once a week.
All
Wow.
right. More power to you. Good for
Yep,
you.
yep,
How you
good for
feeling? I
you.
hope she's feeling well and it's working for her.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
ramping up your autophagy and
Yes.
you're it's fasting's healthy. I follow Dr. Jason Fung. He's
Mhm,
one
me
of my
too.
tabs on YouTube, and he's the fasting guy. Taught me a lot about it. We could talk
Yes.
on that topic if you wanted to get off of coffee here and talk about fasting.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about
Um,
fasting and how
yeah,
are you incorporating it, and teach us
it's
a
a good
little
topic.
something.
Here's how everybody can do it differently, just like anything else. It's different for everybody. I do intermittent fasting daily. My last meal every night ends around 6:30 p.m. I don't snack between meals because snacking is an emotional event. I don't snack. And if
Mhm.
I feel like a snack, I'm like, why do I want that? Am I really eating? Am I hungry? And it's because I'm bored or I'm angry or I'm sad.
Uh-huh.
It's an emotion. So I learned not to snack. And then my first meal the next day is around 11 a.m. So that's my intermittent fast. I do drink water um, during that time. And then every 4 or 5 months, I haven't done it for a while, I do a 3-day fast. I do a 72-hour fast. And after the first 24 hours, I don't feel hungry at all, and I don't even think about food. But that first 24 hours is like, I'm hungry. Oh, and I have to keep busy during the times I normally would eat. And then once you get over the hump, it's like you don't even think about it anymore. I keep myself busy doing things during the times I would have eaten. And the most important part to a long-term fast, and a lot of people don't talk about it, and it's vital. Breaking the fast and how you break it is more important than the fast itself. Our
Yeah.
body is so used to not digesting, and the lining in our intestines and everything is thinner. So you want to break it with no carbohydrates, obviously, but
Mhm.
very little fat as well. You want to have lean protein as your first meal and a little bit,
Okay.
and wait 1 hour, then have a little bit more protein, maybe with a little more fat, maybe wait another hour, and then have a normal meal because your body will be shocked. And even then, you'll notice, oh, I've got some. You run to the toilet because your body is turning back on again. Everything's
Mhm.
starting up again. There's something, I think it's called I forget the name of it, but a lot of people make the mistake going on a long-term fast and then they feast and they overfeed. It's
Mhm.
very, very
To
dangerous.
make yourself really sick, you could
You
die.
could die, exactly. A
Yeah.
lot of Holocaust victims found that when they were rescued, they fed like crazy and they died because they were so used to being starved.
Wow.
So breaking the fast, follow Jason Fung, do some
Yes.
research. It's very important that you break your fast properly. Yeah.
I'll make sure that his information gets down into the show notes.
Yeah.
I have been following him for a long time. It feels like, when everybody was going keto, Dr. Jason Fung came out talking about fasting, and that just seemed to go like hand in hand.
It
It
did.
was
Yeah.
easier to do the fasting because you were in a ketogenic state
Mhm.
and all of that. And he has some really good information out there. I have his book. I have a couple of his books, but The Ultimate Guide to Fasting is really, really good. Talks in detail about fasting. So I'll make sure to put that in the show
Good.
notes.
Good. It's a good reference.
Yeah, it's a really good
Sure.
one.
I haven't seen him appear at any conferences. I've been to several conferences, and that's the one name I'd never see. I'd love
No,
to meet the guy. Yeah.
me too. I would love to meet him as well. That would be really, really cool. So actually, Hack Your Health was my first
Was
keto
it?
conference or
Wow.
carnivore conference. It was my
They're not
very
all that great. If you go to another one, you'll be like, you have a high expectation now.
it was incredible.
It
Like
was
it
phenomenal.
was the energy there was
Electric.
electric. It was
It was.
so amazing. Like, and meeting all of you guys in person was I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad I went and that I just, that I'm just gonna go,
Come to the
I'm just
next
gonna
one in
go.
Tampa, September.
I
Next
wish I was coming to the next one, but no, I'm not. Oh, you're
uh,
talking about next year?
next year, the
Yeah.
next
Oh, yeah.
Keto
I'm
Come and
planning
Hack
to
Your
be
Health,
there.
which is in Tampa,
Yes.
Florida. It's in September. I don't know why they
Yes.
changed the date and changed the place, but yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but yes, I'm planning to be there. As soon as I came back, I told my husband, "Okay, so, like, we have to go next year."
yeah,
He didn't go this year, but,
it's
like,
phenomenal.
I was like, it's not just first of all, it's not just carnivore, though we were there in
We
force.
were there in force, and all the lectures that were more carnivore focused were standing room only, and
Wow,
all the
yeah.
other lectures were not.
Oh,
There were a lot of
wow.
empty seats. Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? So yes,
Interesting.
we were there in force, big time. And I went to Hack or Keto Con the year before COVID lockdown, and it was also in Austin,
Mm.
in the same hall, and it
Mhm.
was like night and day. The vendors
Really?
were completely different. It was all keto related. It was a lot of
Wow.
way more food products and not a lot of the other cool stuff, and not as many talks and no upstairs breakout rooms and everything. So it really got refined. I think they did a phenomenal job.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
job. Yeah. I think her name was Robin, the one that
It
hosts this
organized it. Yeah.
class.
Hmm.
She did an amazing job. She's killing it. It
Yes,
was good. It was
it was.
really, really good.
It was. And what I liked about it was, you had your schedule. It had a phone app. You could pull it on your phone and
Mhm.
look. And you couldn't do everything. You had to pick and choose because there were multiple things happening at the same time. There were book signings, there were cooking demonstrations, there were upstairs breakout lectures. You walked. I mean, it just you're like, what do I do? And then you wanted to hang out with your friends too. And
Mhm.
I got a DEXA scan. I
Yes, I did too.
did the chiropractor. I did a whole bunch of cool things.
I
Yeah.
found out that I was fat. Yes. Just as I thought.
I found out my bone density is not good for my
Oh.
age. I'm lower than I'm supposed to be for my age range. Now, keep in mind, and you keep in mind about this too.
Mhm.
All the measurements on that DEXA scan are based on all the DEXA scans of all the people in that company. They're measuring you up against all of them. So what is their stock? Are they all super, super healthy, or you have a
Mm.
mixture of,
Mhm.
and that's true about when you get your blood labs taken too by the blood lab.
Exactly. Yep.
So take that with a grain of salt when you see all of that. So I wonder if my
Yeah.
bone density, how accurate was that? But still, I'm going to work on lifting heavier weights and doing some rucking and things like that because I learned
Nice.
about and then I'm definitely going to do I'm going to do another DEXA scan maybe in 6 months or a year and see if I improved
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
I'll do my next one back at Hack Your Health next year.
All right. 1 year. That's great. I hope they're there next year.
Good.
Yeah.
So DC Learning to Live is
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Hey, DC.
David Charles. Cool guy.
Very, very
Learn a
cool.
lot from him.
Yes. I was
DC
just
is
telling him that I
fasting.
wanted to come on the show.
Oh, he's on day 4 of fasting. All right. Good for you,
That's
DC.
amazing.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I have
Wow.
a I have an
Amazing.
app on my phone, and I
Mhm.
just tap it just starts the countdown. It's just nice to know, "Oh, look where I am."
Which app are you
Yeah.
using?
Let me pull it up and see where it is.
I have something I have an app. I have a couple of different apps that I use for fasting.
See if I can find it
Um,
because I only go into it the very few times when I do the long-term fast. Here it is, nutrition. It's called Zero.
yep, that's one of
And
the ones that I have.
yeah,
The other one I think is called Circles, Fasting Circles. It's called Circles, I think.
let's
So, yeah.
see it, Zero. See it?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
free, and
Okay.
I like the little charts that you can find on the internet that tells you what's happening to your body at this hour, at this
Yes.
time, kind of cool.
So, DC is saying, yes, day 4 today, but I'll be breaking it today. I feel good enough to keep going, but
Good.
no need to.
Isn't that interesting? You could go 4 or 5. You feel like as you get into the later days, it's so much easier. And you think about
Yes.
keeping going. I always did that.
Absolutely. So I cannot believe this, but we are already at 1 hour. How
Wow.
much time do you have?
I have as long as you want. I have
Okay.
68% battery on my laptop,
Okay.
so we're good to go.
All right. Well, I have a few more questions. So I really want to talk about challenges. Like, what challenges have you faced around diet and eating and your lifestyle? And, how have you had any challenges? And if so, tell us a
Um,
little bit about that.
Again, everybody's life is different. My challenges were so easy to overcome for me, but for other people, there's severe barriers. And it's the social thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I just mentioned that I went to an Italian restaurant with a friend. He picked the restaurant. We went there. And I always say I can find anything in any restaurant. I just have to have the discussion with the server and the cook, and I can basically find anything. Well, this particular restaurant, there was nothing. Everything was carbs and sugar and seed oil.
Yeah.
So I just took the lunch. I had the sub without all the crap and the lettuce and the mayonnaise, and I had just the lunch meat. And I had to have the discussion, take it all off and just give me a plate with lunch meat.
Mhm.
And after the eyebrows and the, all the discussion, I got what I wanted, but you have to be confident to do that. And when I first started eating this way, I was not confident.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure of myself, and I just basically was, I was embarrassed to ask. I was shy. I lost all of that. It's my money. It's my body.
Yep.
You better give me what I asked for. I'm just not going to eat here, right?
Yeah.
And I was,
Right.
I'll be prepared to fast while the person in front of me is eating. But that's a big barrier for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Going to the parties, the holiday events, their
Yes.
friends and family, and there's always all that food there, especially the junk food, the dips, the sugar. And for me, it's easy now, and it was harder at the beginning, but I developed an ability. And people, you can actually use it as oh, they're looking at you and they're like, well, I noticed that you only have this on your plate, the meat and the cheese and the eggs. How come? And then sometimes it opens a door for a discussion.
Right.
They want to know. This fat person comes up to you and wants to know how they can lose weight, which is great. Some people are ready and they see you. So that was probably the only challenge for me.
Wow.
And that's it.
That's
Sugar would
amazing.
be a challenge if I moderated.
Yeah.
It would be the hardest thing in the world for me, but because I don't have any ever,
Yeah.
it's the easiest thing in the world for me, if that makes sense. So, how about you?
Wow. So for me, definitely the social thing. That's probably the biggest thing in this carnivore community that's out here is so valuable. It's so valuable because, everywhere you go, everywhere I go, I'm the only person that's a carnivore.
Me
I'm
too.
talking about you need to eat more fat. I'm talking about, throw away the canola oil and eat you some bacon grease. And they're like, no, I could never eat bacon
Right,
grease.
right.
So it's like you're just like a unicorn, that nobody really understands it. And they don't really kind of want to understand it too. Some of them.
Right. Don't want to see, they don't want the mirror put in front of them.
Right. Yes. And so the social thing is a problem. And for me, this, sweet taste is a challenge for me.
Okay.
I want to have something sweet. I took all the sweet tastes for a while, a good long while. But then recently I started adding back in those salties and, the element. And then I'm like, okay, just one little more thing and one more thing and one more thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, what are you doing? You don't feel good.
It
Stop
creeps
it.
in very slowly, doesn't it? When you
It
permit,
does.
you give yourself permission, you give yourself more permission, and you
Mhm.
self-talk and you
It
persuade
is.
yourself.
Mhm.
That's the addiction.
It is. It is.
Addiction
So
makes you bargain with yourself to get at it.
it does.
Like, well, I'll just have it one time a day and only after dinner, and I'll make sure that I can control it. Like you'll
Right.
brainwash yourself that you can do it, and then it haunts you. And
Yep.
then you're like, well, maybe after lunch too. And then you
You're
start,
so right.
yeah.
Because even today, knowing that tomorrow I'm giving up a bunch of stuff because it's July 1st, I'm going on a challenge, I'm gonna do this thing. And but today my mind was telling me, well, you could probably just do this
Yeah,
instead of
see
doing
that?
that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just have one of these. I'm like, no, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone
The
because
devil. It's like remember
it's yeah,
the
the
devil and the
devil on the
angel?
yeah, angel and devil on your
Right,
shoulders.
right,
The
right.
devil is over here telling me that it's okay to have something sweet, but now I know that it's just a slippery slope. And I've been saying that it's easier said than done. So definitely that.
You have to fail do it and fail
Mhm.
multiple times, and then because those multiple times, they all add up and you're like, okay, I know I can't do this because I couldn't do it all those times, and there'll be a point where you just won't do it anymore. It'll be
Yes.
easier for you. A lot of people have to go back into it and fail a few times and then learn. You know, we learn from our mistakes. It's the
Yeah,
best,
we
it's the
do.
best teacher in the world is
It
making
is. I
mistakes.
mean, and having your hands flare up after they've been clear for some time, it's like, okay, that's enough to let me know, oh, I don't need to be doing that, whatever it was I was doing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm happy for you that, first of all, when I was on keto, I started going and ordering my food weird years ago, 10 years ago, you know what I mean? So, everybody was looking at me like, "What? No bread? You
What's wrong
just
with you?
want the insides and you don't want the outsides? No, I don't want any bread." I started ordering, like, no ketchup and no onions and, all these different things. So I
Mhm.
have been ordering my food weird. My
For
family's been
years.
looking at me crazy for years about ordering my food weird. But now it's like, okay, I want a steak on my plate and I want some bacon on my plate, and that's all. And they're like, "What?" What about the sides?
And
The sides
remember
are
that
free.
that's them. Don't let their peer pressure affect you.
Mhm.
You're a
Yeah.
grown you first of all, you don't look anywhere near 58.
Oh, thanks.
57, 58. You look 30, 35. And I saw you in person, so it's
Wow.
not just the screen. You look like a young girl. You really
Oh,
do.
thank you.
And it's your diet. I don't know what you look like before, but we look younger. We look
Yeah.
healthier and younger. Our skin cells have all been replaced with healthy
Yes.
substrate of animal fats and not seed oils and carbs and sugar and inflammation and swelling
Right.
and bloating. So we will look younger. Just keep all those little facts in your mind,
Yep,
when that little temptation thought comes in, you know. You've got lots of reasons to stay eating well because
I do.
you've got the other things going on.
I do. I mean, that stuff is enough to act right, make me act right. I don't have a problem with sweeteners, though. That's one thing that I
Right.
do not have a problem with. So, like, I can have I can have Splenda, I can have liquid sucralose, I can have stevia. None of that causes me any problem except I'm addicted to it, and I don't want that. I don't want to be having to have something. I don't want my brain. So, one of the issues that I had was this constant brain thing going on, like thinking about food and obsessing over it and kind of like, yeah, obsessive
Right.
compulsive type thing
Right.
going on constantly. That's what the sweeteners do. That I guess that's like a mental health of effect that it makes me want to have more and more and more of it. And I know, like, if it was sweet yesterday and it's not sweet today, there's a problem.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
something wrong with that.
That's addiction.
It's a
Addiction is it's an
yeah.
unhealthy relationship with something that is not good for us, but we do it anyway, and we
Yes.
rationalize it
Yep.
to get at it.
So that's I'm cutting it out. I'm cutting it out,
Good. I
yeah,
think you
and I know
should.
it's gonna be I know that it's gonna be hard, but you guys will be in my accountability partner.
Yeah, text us, call us, talk to us.
Yes, absolutely.
We are big support. When you go to one of these gatherings like Hack Your Health, I've been to several different ones. You realize how many people are out there, not just from the internet, but you see them in person, and it really hits home that this is a real thing. I got to you probably did too. We met Dr. Anthony Chafee in
Yeah.
person, shook the man's hand.
Yes.
I got to meet all these cool people while I
Mhm.
was there. Dr. Baker, the guy I did an
Yes.
interview with him. I got to meet him in person.
So
And
amazing.
it's just reality to me. This is not a diet. This is the way we're all supposed to be eating. You could tweak it to your own body chemistry, but this is our
Mhm.
ancestral way of eating. It is the proper human diet. And don't let anybody tell you differently because they want to get at their addiction, you
Yeah,
know? And
right,
you don't miss it once you get it out of your system.
right.
I
And
don't
that's the thing
miss
is I kind of missed it. I don't know if I actually physically missed it, but mentally I missed it. So then I
it's a
thought,
mental yeah, there's always the
"Try
physical thing, but there's
this,"
the mental thing that
"Just go
takes
try a
time.
little."
It takes time. Yeah.
It does. So DC Learning to Live is saying there's a difference between not feeling the effects and not having effects. And you are so right.
Mhm.
Absolutely right. I totally agree with you on that.
So,
So yeah, this I gotta get it out of there.
yeah,
That's pretty
take
much
it out.
is it.
And we all come to that conclusion at a different time. See, I think of a timeline, right? And when I talk to people, where are they on their timeline? You know,
Mhm.
I'm over here, somebody else is over here. And if you're telling somebody they have to take something out, they're not ready yet.
Right.
You can give them all the knowledge and the information, and maybe you planted a little meat seed and it grows. And 2 years later, they do it because they weren't ready. I wasn't ready to take coffee out until I took it out. I was still
Right.
drinking coffee for a long time.
Yep.
And I took it out. You know, everybody's different. So whenever you're ready, as long as you keep a growth mindset,
Yep.
don't shut the door.
July 1st, ready or not, here I come.
Good. Good for you. That's
I
tomorrow.
set the date. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
So, it is what it is. It's
Or in DC's case, it's today
today. Yeah,
because he's in Australia.
absolutely. Oh, by the way, it's Limitless Lindy's birthday
Oh,
today.
happy birthday,
So
Lindy.
happy birthday to Limitless
Yeah.
Lindy. I had her on last night and she's such a sweetheart. And we got to meet her
Uh-huh.
also at Hack Your Health, which was awesome. So I'll be talking about Hack Your Health until the next Hack
I
Your Health.
know, we do.
So
Now the
good.
Keto Palooza's coming up, and I'm debating whether to go to that in
Same.
Kentucky, and everybody says it's amazing, and everybody hugs each other and everything,
Yes.
and, but it's more keto, it's not so much
Uh-huh.
carnivore. I
Right.
don't know. Are you going?
I'm debating. Yeah, I talked to my husband about it, but I'm still debating on whether or
I'm
not I'm
debating
gonna go
too,
to make
yeah,
it work.
yeah.
Um, you know, money doesn't go on trees.
No, and it's you gotta buy the hotel room, you get the
Yes.
airplane ticket, and
Mhm.
time if you're working, time off. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I get
Yep.
you. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to that one. There's another Keto Orlando that's coming up, in a couple of weeks
Mhm.
that I'm not also not going to that one because I just came back from Orlando. I
Yeah, it would have
should've
been great
waited.
if the timing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if I had known, I would have waited and taken my family vacation closer to when they were having the conference.
That's a good one. I went to that one a few years ago.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing it this year.
I've heard
Yeah,
really good things
yeah.
about it.
Mhm.
So, the conferences, I highly recommend getting out here and meet these carnivores because it's really life-changing.
Meeting the people is the best part.
It
It's
is.
the best part. You make lifelong friends
Mhm.
and you learn, but, and I'm an introvert, all right? I don't this whole carnivore thing has brought me out of my shell.
Isn't
I
that
be I
crazy?
become an extrovert when I'm around people. I'm still an introvert by
Yeah,
definition, but I am not as shy. I'm more confident.
me
I
too.
know who and what I am now.
That's the same.
Yeah.
I'm like an introverted
Oh,
extrovert,
there
I
you go.
guess I would
Okay.
say. I feel comfortable around people that I know. I was
Mhm.
thinking about it when you said that, kind of the person that I met in Austin wouldn't have been the person that I met a few years ago. And it's the same for me because I feel comfortable around people that I know, and I'm not shy technically, but I always call it shy because it feels like shy. Like I would be like a wallflower sitting around, waiting for somebody to come up to
Come
me
up
and
to
talk
you.
to
Right.
me.
Right.
Well, now I'm like, hey, you guys,
Yeah, I am too.
all in your face, I'm
And I
introducing.
don't know what that is. Is that a chemical that changed in our mind when we
I
started
don't
eating
know.
well? Because I know what that felt like. It major shyness. I would
Yeah,
never have gone up to some of these doctors that I met online
no.
and just said, "Hi there."
Oh my
I
God.
never would have done that before, and
Never.
now I'm so excited, there's no fear, and,
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting. It's
yeah,
really, really interesting, the change, and I've heard so many people say, even Christy at Meeting Wellness, she says she's an introvert. So many people have
she
said,
is.
"I'm an introvert,"
Mhm,
and you would never believe that they are an introvert by, when you meet them,
mhm,
everybody's so friendly, so engaging. They're not shy at all. So, it's really, really weird. And
mhm.
I noticed it the first time when I went to the carnivore meetup in Chicago, Carrie Mann's,
Oh, yeah.
the first Chicago meetup for Healing Humanity. And I was like, who is this person? Myself. Who is this person? Because I'm like a social butterfly. This
Mhm.
is not my normal state. And I mean, it's attributed to carnivore because I just have never been this outgoing and, friendly and engaging person unless I already know you, you
Right,
know.
right.
So yeah, it's really, really interesting how that has changed. And I hear so many people saying the same thing. It's
Mhm.
it's really it's got to be something to do with mental health, you
It
know.
it does. I think ketones and the brain and, my OCD is gone and the emotions are better. It has to do with your brain health.
Yes.
It's the more I eat a lot of fish. I eat a lot of deep, DHA and EPA, and I
Okay.
really think that I'm just more alert. I can when I had to certify the last time to get my teaching certificate, I was on Ketovore. I
Mhm.
was just going through the articles and writing my papers like that. Like just
Wow.
total focus concentration. Whereas all my life before that, it was almost like I was a little ADD, constantly losing my train of thought.
Mhm.
Huge difference on eating properly with mental health and
Amazing.
brain. Yeah.
Amazing. So as you mentioned about Dr. Georgia Ede's book earlier, I definitely think I got her book on Audible. So I'm going to continue that book because there is something to it. There's definitely something to it. You notice it right away when you go on carnivore that your brain is just more clear, that the brain fog lifts that you never even really knew you had. And now it's like, wait a minute, this Zen feeling that everybody talks about,
Exactly.
like
You have a lot of energy, but you're calm, if that
mhm,
makes sense. You're firing on all cylinders instead of just a couple, all the little analogies. And
right,
you have to, if you're not carnivore or even doing keto, oh, there's so many benefits. There's not one single, what are you missing? You're not
right.
going to miss that food. You're not going to miss the cake and the candy
You're
and the
not.
bread. You don't miss it. A lot of people miss their bread, they say, but then after a while, they don't miss it,
Mhm.
you know?
I have done some of the carnivore breads when I first started.
I did
My
too.
mom and I did some of the carnivore breads, and they're good. If you really need something like that to get you over
Texture.
the
I
hump,
make chaffles. I take egg and
yes,
cheese,
truffles
and
are
it's
good.
there's your texture of
Mhm.
bread. I mean, that's the
Yep.
simplest thing. You can do that in a pan too.
Right.
Really
It's
cool.
really, I mean, it's a good thing for like a crutch to get you over, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
miss my
and
bread,
people
you know?
need that when they're transitioning. A lot of people say, "Just do it. Just become a carnivore and just jump right in," and a
Yes.
lot of people aren't wired that way. They
Right.
need to they need to have the sweeteners for a
Mhm.
little while and to wean
Mhm.
off of it. Just like a drug addict gets their methadone to get off their heroin, they have to step down slowly. The way
Yes.
I stepped off of coffee, I did it
Yeah.
slowly, you
Yep.
know? So you
Yeah,
find
that's
out what works for you. And I try never to say, no, you should never do this to somebody because I don't know them or where they are.
right.
Maybe they're doing it now and they'll stop as long as they
Mhm.
have the knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the thing that I try to teach my grandkids. So, I have 11 grandkids.
That's why you're the carnivorous wow,
It
good for you.
is.
How many
Yep.
children do you have to get
I have
11?
4.
You have 4, so they're putting out the kids.
I have one daughter that has put out her more than her fair share.
Oh gosh, okay. Well, good for you guys.
5 of them are with my baby daughter,
God bless
and
her.
then, one has 3, one has 2, and then my baby daughter also has a stepson, so 11
Oh,
total.
wow.
And I try to tell them, so first of all, their parents are not carnivores, obviously. And so I just tell them, like, so for, some of them have said, I want to be a carnivore. And I'm like, well, when you grow up, you can be a carnivore. You can choose to
Oh,
be a
when you
carnivore.
grow up.
Yeah, when you grow up. And then the other thing I tell them is if you ever get sick, and I tell this to my kids too, if you ever get sick from anything, be it cancer, diabetes, whatever it is, you should go carnivore,
Yeah.
because it's curing all manner of diseases.
You see, they're gonna remember every word you said. Your grandma. I
Mhm.
don't know if they call you Mima or Mama or
Grandma.
whatever. They call you
Yep.
grandma. All right.
Grandma,
That
yep.
it sticks for the rest of their life. They will
Yep.
remember everything you say.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
good.
the bacon, I feed them bacon, I feed them meat.
Good.
I still feed them some of the stuff that they eat at home still too. So, it is what it is.
Mhm. I've
But
found that friends and family are the hardest. They
they are.
don't want to listen to you because they knew you before and they've known
Mhm.
you all your life. All the
Mhm.
strangers listen to me.
Yeah,
But
isn't that
my
something?
friends and family, they'll be like, "What are you doing now? What you
Mhm.
switched? You're not keto anymore? What is it called? What?
Right.
Oh, I can't keep track with you and
Uh-huh.
your things anymore." And what are you gonna do?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, well, we're gonna start wrapping it
All
up.
right. This was fun.
I'm gonna just kinda go to your channel,
Okay.
and I will share your channel. You can tell us a little bit what you're doing over there. So
Okay.
let's get it.
Carnivore Teacher 1965 on YouTube. That's me. And oh, look, we're live. That's us
Yeah.
right there. And I put a video out. They're very short instruction or teaching or informational videos, usually 2 to 5 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a teacher, so I have a topic, I do a little research, I stand in front of this screen here with my camera and everything, and
Yes.
I just talk off the top of my sometimes I have a iPad with notes to refer to, but
Mhm.
I talk about a topic. One of them recently was about alcohol and carnivore.
Mhm.
Um, there's the song with Christy, "You always bring me ribeyes, you often
Oh.
bring picanha."
Oh,
Uh,
you did
so
sing.
uh,
Oh.
today's was about prescription drugs, what's
Yes.
the end? So I do one every day, and every Wednesday I put up a song, because it's
Nice.
fun, and it's just fun, it's not for any reason. And, it's my way of teaching, of still teaching, because 'cause I'm still a
Mhm.
teacher. I still feel it's
Yes.
important. I can't keep my mouth shut. I have I have a wealth of health. I have the most amazing health, and it's my wealth, and and it's free, and everybody
Mhm.
can have it. So this is my way of paying it forward is my YouTube channel, and all my other social
Nice.
media just ties into the YouTube channel. So,
Nice.
thanks for showing it to everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, those
Yeah,
are all
you
my little
guys, if you're
videos there.
not subscribed to Carnivore Teacher 1965, please go take a look at, uh, at his channel because he's doing a lot of great work out here. I appreciate it very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks for showing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, we're gonna wrap up, but if
Okay.
you could have one thing to tell the people, particularly somebody who's carnivore curious. That's who I always try to talk to
Carnivore
in
curious.
my
All right.
videos. Carnivore curious. So, can you just tell carnivore curious something? And we're going to let you wrap it up.
Oh gosh. Somebody who's carnivore curious, I would say watch Dr. Anthony Chafee's videos on YouTube. Just pick one and just listen to the video for a while. And you're going to get a lot of key points about what carnivore is and why it's so healthy for the human body. It's our ancestral way of eating. It's the proper human diet. And if you want to watch Dr. Sean Baker, you can as well. Dr. Ken Berry. I tell people, I refer people to the people that have inspired me and
Mhm.
have helped give me a lot of my knowledge. I make a lot of my videos from aha moments that I get from those guys. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell somebody if they want to. And I don't tell them to watch me. I tell them to watch other people. And then, oh, yeah, I have a YouTube channel too if you want to watch me.
Yes, right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Hey, you
having
guys.
me.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you were able to come on. I feel like we're gonna have to do something else together.
Okay.
Think about
I'm
what
on
that's
for it.
gonna be. We're definitely gonna have to collab and do something.
We will sing.
So, yeah,
You
we
want to?
can sing.
All right. This will be a new thing now. I've got Christy. I've got Robin. Maybe we'll
Yes,
get
that's gonna be
Susan
fun.
if she's still listening. And we'll
Yes,
do
that'd be
duets. Yeah, it'd be
awesome.
fun.
That'd be
Okay.
awesome. So,
Um,
hey, you guys, if you're interested in being on this show, so I'm talking to DC Learning to Live for
yeah.
sure. I want you to take my email address. I'm just popping it
Oh,
up on the
your sound
screen.
went out. I don't know if it went out just for me.
Oh, Yep. Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with my system
So,
today. Keep going, but I can't hear you.
robin.heron@hotmail.com.
That's
Please
so weird.
email me and I would love to have you on. I would love to have you tell your story. We can chit chat just like we did with John today. And I would love to just meet and talk with you. So please send me an email if you're interested in being on this show. And he had to just drop off because he lost his audio, but that's okay because we're wrapping up anyway. I hope you guys have a great week. Wish me luck because tomorrow I'm starting my July challenge. And that July challenge is going to be, I'm going to post a video about it. And I'm going to post up my 30-day meal plan for the July challenge. But basically, it's going to be ruminant meats, seafood, bacon, and I'm doing 2 lean days a week. So let's see what happens. I'm clearing out all the junk, so I'm not going to have any sweeteners. I'm not going to have any eggs. I'm trying to see if I'm having any issue with egg whites, so I'm not going to have any eggs. And it's going to be kind of a clean carnivore for the month of July, and we will see what happens. I want to get out all the things that caused this whole deep depression that I had over the last week. And so that's my focus for the month of July. So come and join me if you want to. I would love to have you be part of the July challenge. Just let me know in the comments down below. And thank you, John, for being here. We will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.